city. DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast. Dre and Willsy is the one. Let's get it. Yeah. Who with me? Let's get it. Yeah. No, with me. Yeah. I'm from the city. DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 podcast. Dre and Willsy is the one.
He the one, nigga.
So let's get it, baby.
He the one.
With me. So
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Y'all already know what it is, man. Welcome back, you guys, to the 1130 podcast. What's good, everybody doing out there on this beautiful Wednesday morning? Yes, good morning to everybody who's joining me here on the podcast, man. Yes, good morning, good night, good afternoon to all my listeners all across the world, wherever you may be. Yo, shout out to everyone who's listening to me on EB Radio this morning. Yes, this one going to be a great one, you guys. Yes, and for everybody who's watching on YouTube, man, sit tight. Yes, sit tight, buckle up, man. This is going to be a great one, you guys. But for everyone who's new to the 1130 podcast YouTube channel, make sure you head over and subscribe. Yes, subscribe to the 1130 podcast. Like it, leave a comment, and share it so we can get the 1130 podcast up and out there even more. And don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, man, like I said, man, I got a great show lined up this week, you guys. I'm back at it on this Wednesday. Yes, I got a cool guest, you guys, lined up for everybody. You ready, man? For real, I got my aunt. Yes, my auntie is here. Aunt Gwen, she's going to be joining me here on the podcast, man. It's going down for real. She's from the nation's capital, just like I am, man. DC in the building on this Wednesday morning. So this one going to be fun, you guys. But yo, man, to stay a track of the show, man, to keep up with it, don't forget to follow EB Radio on Instagram at EB Radio _ you guys. But yo, we ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna get into the show, man, for real. Gwen, what's going on?
Ain't nothing enough.
How's it going?
At all. It's going good.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Before you guys, we gonna top it up with everything. I just want to say, me and my aunt was chatting it up a couple of days ago, and we was like, yo, you know, how we gonna do this? We gonna be in person, and I'm still, you know, trying to transition into in person because I'm just getting a couple of other guests who doing tours and stuff and wanted to be on my podcast, and I was like, yeah, through Zoom, and she was like, oh, I thought it was gonna be in person, but you know, I'm slowly getting back to that. But you know, with everything going on in the world, I'm trying to stay safe. Hopefully you guys staying safe. But yo, Aunt Gwen, man, I got you here on the podcast. So how's your day going?
It's going lovely now. It's going lovely. I couldn't wait to get here, man. I could not wait to get here.
Yeah,
I felt like I was on TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You are. You are. Life is going. How life treating you right now?
It's treating me good. I'm blessed. I can have no complaints.
Okay, cool. No complaints. You gotta wake up. Each and every day is a blessing. Each and every day that God wake you up is a blessing. So that's good. That's good. But you guys, man, like I said, I got my Aunt Gwen on the podcast. But we're gonna get into everything, you guys, man. Trending topics, just getting to know my Aunt Gwen, you know. But here on the podcast, you guys, we're gonna start it off this week, you guys, with the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yes, on the podcast, Aunt Gwen, you watch the podcast, you know what's up. I'm gonna share WTF moment of the week. You have a WTF moment you want to share? Anything? What the fuck, you know, you may have seen, heard, or you know, throughout the past week, you want to share to the people who's listening or watching?
Well, yeah, I would say, what the fuck is going on with the world? You know, we got a lot of our young ones out here that's, you know, just falling to death, you know, family, you know, hurting behind a lot of nonsense, I would say. You know, me as a mother, you know, I pray daily for my entire family, starting with my, you know, unit, which is my children, my grandchildren. And then I spread that out to, you know, all of you guys, meaning my nephews, my nieces, my sisters, you know, all my loved ones, even the people I don't know. But it's a hurting feeling. It has to be. I can't say that I know, meaning losing a child, but this world is wicked that we live in. And I just say we should just continue to pray for one another. It's easy to say that we will, but we need to start doing, you know, praying for one another. Because, you know, prayer is a powerful thing. It really is. It can uplift, you know, many of things that, I mean, doctors can't even do. It's a miracle. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and you definitely can get through a lot of your obstacles, you know. But it's just a hurting feeling to know every day you wake up that someone that you may be affiliated with or that you know is, you know, their family member is losing their loved ones, you know. And it's not all just to the violence that's out here. You know, you have people that's sick, you know, that unexpectedly losing their lives. That's why I pray daily, you know, because I mean, me turning 50, hey, I say 50 fucking me right now. I feel fabulous some days, and then, you know, I feel, what the fuck, you know, like.
Yeah. It's some crazy times we are living in right now. You know, you just, especially here in the city, you know, just every day, every other day, it's just something is going on, you know. It's, you know, but prayer is a big, powerful thing. Something, you know, some doctors or something, you know, things, you know, can't, you know, fix or whatever like that. So prayer is something. And but you guys, man, I'm gonna share my WTF moment. It is crazy, you guys. WTF moment comes from a cop named Ronald Kennedy, you guys. He's a New York Police Department cop. He saved the guy life, you guys. It was over the weekend. Actually, not over the past weekend. It was earlier this month, you guys. And I found out this story over the weekend, and I was like, wow, this is really crazy and really interesting, though. But you guys, Ronald Kennedy, a cop, saved the guy life. A guy was in an altercation with another guy. Something was going on in New York. The guy got stabbed. The guy got stabbed in the chest. Police arrived. The guy, you know, he went into action really, really fast and was like, yo, man, I gotta save this guy life. He's sort of going in and out. He's unconscious and stuff like that. He gets to the scene. Nearby, the bystander is nearby, so he just say, yo, hey, go get me a bag of chips. He go in the store, grab a bag of chips. The cop emptied the bag of chips out, you guys, and he took the bag of chips, cut it up, and used tape and the bag of potato chips to save this guy's life.
We first told you over the weekend about an NYPD officer who came up with a unique way to use a bag of potato chips and tape to save a man's life. And now the officer is talking about his quick thinking. CBS 2's Andrea Klein-Thomas has the story.
On July 7th, Officer Ronald Kennedy arrived at Lenox Avenue near 125th Street, responding to a call about a man who was stabbed.
Go get me a bag of potato chips right now.
Yes, Officer Kennedy immediately asked for potato chips. Ricardo Gonzalez said he ran into the bodega.
It was crazy because imagine you got somebody bleeding in your hands, the cops come, and the first thing they tell you, go get me a bag of chips. I'm like, really?
Officer Kennedy calmly sprung into action, dumping out the chips before placing the bag on the victim's wound and securing it with tape to create a seal so his lungs would not collapse.
We just needed something squared off and that we could tape easily, and we needed something where air couldn't pass through that type of material.
The victim was mumbling but incoherent.
Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me.
The ambulance arrived shortly after, but doctors say the officer's quick thinking likely saved the victim's life.
It's the first time that I did something like that, but you know, it worked out well and I'm happy about it.
Police say the victim is out of the hospital. Thankfully, Officer Kennedy relied on his instincts and says he's still processing being called a hero.
You may still be wondering, how did Officer Kennedy know exactly what to do? Well, he was an EMT before joining the police department 4 years ago. In Harlem, Andrea Klein-Thomas, CBS 2 News.
Like, really though, like WTF, like that is crazy right there. You know, like you wouldn't have thought that, you know, a cop would show up, and in the video that you guys seen that, you know, the guy was like, really, like this cop asked for a bag of chips. That would be the least thing that you thought he would have asked though, like, you know. But WTF though, like for real though. That's why I always keep me a bag of chips, you know, handy though, especially my favorite bag of chips, you know. I make sure I keep me some real Cool Ranch, you know, so I can stay cool just in case, you know, sometimes like this, you just never know, man. You just never know. But shout out to the cop, man, who saved that guy life for real, man. But that was real WTF moment, you know, this week here on the podcast, you guys. I know. WTF. But you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on the podcast. I'm Gwen, man. Once again, I appreciate you joining me here this week on the 1130 podcast. How you feel about being on the podcast this week?
I feel wonderful, nephew. I feel pleasure to be here. That you even, brought me along, to join you on the podcast.
Yeah.
I was a bit nervous at first, but I'm here.
yeah. A lot of people that I reach out to, they just be like, man, I'm a little nervous, or they'll be a little shy. I can tell with it. I can tell the energy though. But no, man, I had to reach out to you because even from growing up, a little boy, to now, you always been sort of, I guess, the comedian of the family. I don't know if anyone told you that or whatever, but you come around from, like I said, when I was little, to having my mother laughing and everybody laughing in the room, to even now, like, how do you feel when someone says that, like, you're the comedian of the family and all that?
Well, for one, when I first started hearing it, I was like, well, I'm not trying to be funny, but at the same token, it's like life experiences, meaning being around family and friends, or even my children at this moment. I just be like, man, these folks is wild as I don't know what. And then it just be like, I just go all in, you know what I'm saying? Start sharing how I feel or what's going on, meaning what's on my mind as far as the moment, family gatherings, marking cousins, aunts, and things of that nature, imitating them. So it was like everybody will always get a kick out of me, like, girl, you should be a comedian. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that because it's some real life stuff that, the moments, they just turn into big laughters, And when I look back over my life, and I just be like, even from, your grandmother, whooping my ass, and I told her the stories about it when I got grown, and then next thing I know, she just crying, laughing, I'm crying, laughing, because you reliving the moment. But it's like, at the time, you like, man, that wasn't nothing funny about that. You know what I'm saying? Look, couldn't wait to get grown and tell my story, but it was all in respect and love. And I just always could turn those moments that was once upon a time sad moments into happy moments. And I just love being the energy, you know what I'm saying? The brightness of the room. I don't look for attention, but it's just like I look to put a smile on somebody's face. If it's just one person out of the whole squad, I feel like my job is done, and it never fails. I always crack somebody up. Hey, look, even myself.
Yeah, I know, right? You're too funny. Did you ever play pranks on grandma or on my mother or any of your sisters when you was young?
Oh yeah. I'd have played one. That's funny that you asked that, because I'd have played the crank on your mother and grandma at the same time, right? And that thing backfired on me, right?
Okay, I'm ready for this one.
Hey, this one we was out when y'all was out, Washington View, right? And we was with y'all at the moment, the moments with me and my kids' father, like we was like Bonnie and Clyde, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a situation that went down with, so I'm like, man, I know this fool ain't, out here playing with my children, with my child. Nah, I can't have that, right? But nonetheless, make a long story short, I had a court date, went to court. It was April Fool's Day. I'll never forget, like yesterday. My girlfriend and my cousin had went with me, right? I said, well, they taking too long to call my name. They took a little recess, so I go to the phone. I said, I'm about to get my sister real quick. I'm about to April Fool her real quick. So I called her from the payphone in the lobby, waiting for them to call my name, right? Called her, collect and all that, right? And so I call myself, going to act like I'm crying and whatnot. Here I go, hello? Hey, Mom. Man. That's once she accepted the call, though. I said, look, I done got locked up. Look, I didn't even know grandma was there with her, right? So she passed the phone to grandma. And here I go. Hey, oh my goodness, mama. I done got locked up. Oh my God. And I was making up stuff. I ain't know what I was talking about. Talking about my bond is $1,500. Hey, look. They both was like, what in the world? They panicking and everything. I said, but look, I gotta go. I'm gonna call you back, okay? I said, I gotta go. But before we could hang up the phone, I said, no, I'm just playing with y'all. Like April Fool, right? Yeah. They going all off and everything, right? They going off for me and everything. Don't do that. You scared the mess out of me. Long story short, when I went back into that courtroom and they called my name, it really did go down. I had to make that phone call back to say, this is real. Like, I don't know what just happened here. Like, look, it done turned for the worst. Like, I done
exactly. You done spoke it up to existence, huh? You done manifested it.
Man, and look, when I got out of there, I was like, I'll never go back in there. That one night did it for me. And ever since then, I just been, it was a moment. Oh, it wasn't funny at all. It wasn't funny at all. But all I could do is once I got out of there, I start, telling my story, and folks would, like my cousin Tammy would always be the one be around and hearing my story, like, what in the world? And, and I'm like, yeah, that really happened. And you just laugh. And I just like, yeah, I can laugh about it now too, but that's one place I ain't trying to never go.
I know that's right. I know that's right. That's a prank that you wish you was like, I just spoke too fast on that one right there, huh? Just spoke it up into existence.
Exactly.
Well, now, you like you said, telling all the stories now, do you ever think about, since, things kind of started opening up now, do you ever consider, trying to, put it forward and be a comedian? Because seeing how advanced, so much things are nowadays.
Well, yeah, like me and you have talked about on numerous occasions, getting out that shyness, Nobody wants to believe that your Aunt Gwen is shy. You don't even want to believe it sometimes, but I do have a little shy streak with me. But I most definitely, this right here has been a warm up for me, and I feel as though I can do it. So I'm gonna put more into it, with the helping hands of, my personal helper. I think I would want to put more into it. And when I get the opportunities, I hear a lot of people always throw my way, telling me about open mic, going to these places like, I guess, club-like scene, but at the same token, all honestly, because we not really out of the pandemic, be able to go to these different places. I don't think that I would say 100% I would be comfortable with going in person. This setup right here can actually be good as a start. But as time goes on, now that they're talking about the monkeypox,
Can you please tell me, you said the monkeypox?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a worse virus that's worse than the COVID-19.
Oh, wow.
I had heard of it, and how you try to let some stuff go over your head, and you just don't want to actually believe it, but it's reality. You saw it, but you didn't want to accept it. And I'm saying, I wonder if anybody else think that this thing is really going to reach here. But now hearing other people speak on it, it's actually gotten here in the US, so we got to be a little bit cautious. But as far as me, wanting to kind of like move forward with my my dream, it might not be stand up, but I definitely can, something behind the scene, where I could still, have an audience. Yeah. But again, like I said, with your helping hand, I'm sure I'll prosper.
You will. You got to believe it, though. You got to believe it.
Yeah.
Anything you put your mind to, you could do it, though. You know, like you said, you won't believe it. I'm Gwen shy. Hey, I was shy. I said it numerous times. He on the podcast, you know, with numerous guests, you know, just, man, like sitting up in front of a audience full of 30, 40 people, you wouldn't catch me raising my hand. I'd be in the back. You feel me?
Right.
Like, that ain't me.
Right.
Like, so, like, doing this and, you know, with, you know, keep doing it week in and week out, you know, you just get so much fluent and so much, you know, better with it, though. But anything you put your mind to, you can accomplish. I think that's one thing in the Black community, though, especially, you know, with, you know, us, once we, you know, we may have kids, or we, you know, we go down this road, you know, sometimes society just wants you to forget about, you know, your passion or your gift or whatever like that. But once you believe it and, you know, you can achieve, you know, everything's possible, you know, like for real. Cause they always say, you know, passions and, or this or that don't pay the bills or whatever like that. It's just, you know, it's about belief. It's just, you know, your dream and stuff like that. So, you know, whatever you can do, you can achieve, though. Is it something, you know, out in the world, you know, you will want to accomplish?
Oh yeah, I always say if I ever came into a nice lump sum of money, I would want to buy a home, whereas though I can get a couple of people, whereas though I could take care of them. I would want to be their in-home caregiver, whereas though I can love on them properly the way that they should be loved on, give them the attention that they should have on a daily basis, you know, because a lot of times, as you know, you definitely are a witness of it, nephew, whereas though the elderly nor the disabled get the time, you know, and attention that a person of, you know, like myself can, you know, get from A to Z and do things independently, you know. You know that saying, you know, once an adult, twice a child. You know, you come into this world where as though someone has to take care of you in order for you to be the adult. And then as you leave in this world, or sometimes accidents, situations in life change that cause you to be, you know, disabled to do these things independently. So I would want to, that's one of my goals, to be able to get a house, you know, and I would love, you know, for the ones that love to be there with me, you know, kind of talking around it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going to be putting up a show for them every night.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I have an in-house audience.
That was going to be lit, for real. I appreciate it, for real. You know it. You know it. But you guys, man, we're going to move on here. You guys, on the podcast, you guys, we were speaking about it a little bit earlier, just about things, you know, going on in the community here in DC, you know, with, you know, gun violence and stuff like that in the Black community. Gwen, you know, you're a mother of 4, you got 3 boys. What you think it is, you know, out here? Is it with the guys that, you know, doing all the senseless stuff? Is it the fact that they just don't have no guidance, you know, in life?
Well, you know, what I would say about that first is structure. You know, that's one of the things. And also one of the other things is love. You know, you have to be loved properly. This generation, you want to say they need to be loved properly. There's so many broken homes. You know, now that this pandemic has hit, a lack of everything, you know, love, time, education, you know, it's so many things, right? Till folks that want to do can't do. You know what I mean? So what little job that people have, they so busy trying to hold on to that, you know, to do things for themselves so they can live life, you know, to some little normal, you know, I don't know the proper term to use for, but just feel like they're still able to care for themselves. But I know, like, for me, I'm always trying to put out there to youngins that I know of, about jobs and, how to help them any possible way that I can. But a lot of times all you could do, to be honest, is listen to these youngins, listen to them. And if you try to guide them and in the right direction or give them some positive outlook or information or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do, and not saying that the little bit of conversation that you might have gave them, the positive words of, inspiration, affection, they tend to hold on to what they want to hold on to, meaning like to know that you always got somebody to talk to. Not everybody has somebody to talk to, or when I say talk to, not everybody needs everybody to talk to. You know what I mean? Like a response. A lot of people just want you to hear them, and then at the end of that, if it's something that you can do to help them, you share, but the first thing is listen, because, that's another thing that's causing a lot of chaos in the community and the young youth is suicide. You're seeing a lot about suicide. It's just not the gun violence. You know what I'm saying? It's like a mixture of a lot of things. Some people, they do it for character. That's what I say. A lot of these youngins do, as they say, clout. To get a name for themselves or whatever. But at the end of the day, when I think about it, if they bring back like family reunions, for the family where people really into their families, I think that would help a lot. Meaning you can get to know who your family members are. Because at the end of the day, I just feel like we all one big family, cousin of a cousin that be a cousin. You know what I'm saying? Once I know it's your cousin, guess what? It's my cousin too. Even though it might be just your cousin on your dad's side. You understand what I'm saying? But it's the extension of the family. And I just feel like it's a lot of lack of love in the homes, and attention that these youngins require,
You're right. You're right. I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that because a lot of youngins, man, just like you said, need someone to just, listen to them. But also, for the youngins that also to realize, when they do have, someone elder or someone older that's trying to tell them something better, it's not always that we trying to tell you what, to do or whatever like that. But it's just, just need someone to listen. And like you said, love. A lot of homes, a lot of homes out here is crushed because the father is not there or the mother is somewhere or she raising them by herself or just, like it's real sad. It's real sad. And then the guys or the children don't have no one to turn to but they friends or whatever like that because I guess they show them attention or whatever. But it's sad. It's real sad. The youngins don't like to take certain advice sometimes though, but they gotta listen though. Is it an advice, a piece of advice that you wish you had taken?
Oh yeah. First and foremost, I wouldn't have wanted to be grown before my time.
I think
if I could do it all over again, at this point, I wouldn't change a thing about it because it's all been a life lesson for me. I probably wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have those life lessons. When I say be where I am today, meaning my sanity, and my strength, to be able to carry on. Because I hold a lot of weight, meaning like on my shoulders, of hurt, of family and, friends. More so, I would say family, your loved ones not being here, my mom, my brother, even down to my children's dad. It's so much that, it's rough. It's really rough. I don't even know how I go on sometimes, But for the most part, I'm like a workaholic. So I keep my mind busy trying to care on others, and doing what I can do just to keep me sane, keep my sanity, and keep sane.
Yeah.
But the advice if I had to do it all over again, I would have went to college though and been the lawyer that I wanted to be, because we need a lot of them out here.
So you said you would have been a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my dream at first.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my dream at first. I wanted to be a lawyer.
What made you want to be a lawyer?
Well, for one, I always liked, when I was in school, it was one of the type of thing I liked history, I'm gonna more so say I'm a people's person, and I listen to a lot of what people say, and when my teachers used to lie all the time on me, and I didn't have a leg to stand on, no defense or anything. And I kind of like, my mom used to be like, you always got something to say. You always got a word to say back, because I really did, The teachers would be lying, and I'm trying to get my point across, and I'm just like, this should be against the law for them to lie on me. Get in trouble. They don't even know what I got to go home and go through. I might be on 30 days. Can't go outside. Oh, because she lied on me.
Oh, man.
So I always wanted to plead my case. So yeah. So I was like, man.
Okay. So right about that. Hey, but you guys, man, I appreciate everyone who's joining me this Wednesday here on the 1130 podcast, here on EB Radio and YouTube. You dig, man? Yes, this has been a great episode. I got my Aunt Gwen joining me. Yes, we are having some fun, you guys, man. But you guys, man, sit tight. Yes, sit tight. We got to pay some bills here on EB Radio and YouTube. Don't move a muscle, you dig, man? For real. Don't go nowhere. You're watching, you're listening to the 1130 podcast, you dig?
Know it. Yeah, they gon' hate, but they ain't stopping this. I'ma keep making hits. Dre and Wills, it ain't no copying. Was you sitting there on the carpet with us? Yeah, we knew we had some.
Welcome to EB Radio. Everyone has something to say, a story to tell. We make it easy to share yours. So let's talk.
Regardless of your podcast setup, hit record. And from there, whether your podcast reaches 10 people or 10 million, we can help you get heard wherever listeners are.
And who knows, maybe even quit your day job.
But no matter who hears you, it's about connecting and sharing something from your perspective.
It's about having a voice and using it without anything standing in your way. Say it all with Anchor.
What it really cost you. When you grind from the bottom, then it feel more awesome. Don't be scared of us. Just approach with caution. 1130 podcast, nigga, is you watching? I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast, Dre and Wills.
Yo, welcome back here to the 1130 podcast. Appreciate you guys sticking with me throughout the commercial break. Yo, man, it's been an awesome show, you guys. I got my Aunt Gwen joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast, man. This has been an awesome show. Before we get back into the show, you guys, a program reminder, for everyone who's listening to me on EB Radio this morning. Don't forget to tune back into EB Radio tonight, you guys, for the Notorious Moms podcast, you guys. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it, man, for real. I always ask my guests each and every week, what keeps you motivated? What inspires you?
What inspires me is helping others. Real talk. That's what really inspires me. Even at times where as though I'm so tired and exhausted, I love helping others, especially when they can't help themselves. You know what I'm saying? I feel so good about it and passionate about it. That's why I said I would love, if I ever came into any kind of money, I would want to open up a home and, to be able to give back. You know what I'm saying? And it don't be about the money or anything, because you know why? I just feel like you can't put a you can't put a price tag on that. You know, helping others out, you know, going the extra mile to be able to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? If you might not need nothing but a hug for the day. You know, I ain't got a problem with come help you out with that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I know how you feel. You know, it's not always about the money. It's about the connections, you know, and you know that you know vibe off of, you know, people, man. So I totally agree. And what you're saying, you know, about just, you know, got a lot of stuff on your mind. Well, the 1130 podcast is where you get it all off. So, you know, you just don't want to, you know, hold it all in and, you know, like just let it all out, because God is great. You got to remember that God is great, and each and every day He gives you a day above water is awesome. It's awesome. You just got to talk to Him. What do you know now that you wish you had learned early in life?
Oh, that it was going to be this rough.
Yeah.
You know, I used to think that it was going to be easy when the kids was all gone. Everybody, you know, was grown and gone on, you know, with their families and things of that nature. But hey, it seems like it's even more. You more busy because just to keep yourself. Well, for me, I'm gonna say, because I'm older now. You know, this year was my big 50th, right? And I was really looking forward to that, and I'm just like so amazed that okay, I'm home alone, and you don't hear the noise that you used to, and you know, you get bored. I want to hear a little bit of noise. I want to cook for somebody.
Need something going on in the house. It's too quiet in here, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So it's all a life process, you know. Yeah. It's good and it's sad days, but for the most part, life has definitely been good. You know, right. Nobody's bothering me, and I'm not bothering them.
Hey, that's how you got to keep it. That's how you got to keep it. Some people just, you know, hey, if I ain't bothering you, don't bother me. I'm good. Exactly. You know, that's how I got to. I know, right? That's how I got to be. Hey, you guys, we're going to move on. You guys here on the 1130 podcast. It's time, you guys, for the 1130 podcast hot seat. I'm Gwen. I got 6 questions I'm going to ask you, and we're going to roll with it. You right? You down? All right. What were 3 things you swore you would never do as a parent that you actually end up doing?
Like let a child come back home after they moved out. Okay. That sound about right. That sounds just about right. If animals could talk, which one would be the rudest? I said dog.
The dog? Why you said the dog?
Man, I done seen how some of these owners be kicking their dogs' ass. I think they had some stuff they want to get off their chest. Yeah.
Okay. What was the first thing you think the dog would say though?
I'm about to bite you in your ass. Like they say, never bite the hand that feeds you, right? I've been your lookout man all this time. You keep kicking me, feeding me when you feel like it. Yeah,
I know, right? Like it's crazy. All right, which actors would play your parents in a movie about your life?
Madea.
That's funny. That is real funny. That's funny, you guys. If you get that, is funny. Okay. What's one thing you refuse to share?
One thing, when you say one thing I refuse to share, like it could be anything.
It could be anything.
Oh, definitely not my man if I had one.
Okay. Hey, respect. When I saw this question, the fatness in me said, well, not my fries from McDonald's. You cannot have my fries that I got from McDonald's, you know. Not my fries. I ain't sharing my fries. You should have asked for something. You said you didn't want no fries, then you want my fries. No. Okay.
That's like my frappe too. Then I would say my frappe with that extra caramel.
Okay, you're about to get into a fight. What song come on as your soundtrack?
Wow. It's funny you ask that. How low can you go? All the way to the low. They never ever stop. Just make it to the top. Cause that's how bad I'll probably be crushing them.
They be to the floor, huh? They ain't getting up no time soon. No time soon. Okay. What would you change about yourself if you could?
The way I think sometimes. The way I think. And I would say that because I just started having to learn to not think that I'm going to get what I always dish out. You know, saying that in a positive, in a positive thought. Whereas though you don't always get the love or the time and attention that you done poured out with your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? It could be family or friends. So now I don't expect too much of anything. I kind of just go with the flow. And that makes life a little bit more easier for me, Not expect.
Yeah, you're right. Go with the flow. I think a lot of expectations kind of, ruin the mood sometimes. A lot of people expect, certain things. So when you just go with the flow and just stop, because what you dish out or what you give or what you do, as a good person, somebody, might not be the same person as you. So as long as you got that in your heart and you stay true to yourself, that you know who you are, that's all that matters, though. And, you got to have a clear, positive thought, because if you wake up saying, man, you know what, this day is going to be the crappiest day, it's going to be the crappiest day, So as long as you have a clear mind and just, take some time for yourself, like you said, when 50 and over is your time. You did what you had to do. So, focus on what you got going on. So, that's what I got to say about that. But once again, I appreciate you joining me here on the 1130 podcast this week. It was an awesome time. I appreciate you for everything. Before you go, any shout outs, any questions, anything you would like to say?
Yeah, well, first, I want to shout you out, man. I want to tell you, I want to just let you know that I am so proud of you. As a kid, I always said that you was going to be the one, Now they saying the GOAT, right? Yeah. So you definitely the GOAT. And I just want to let you know that I'm so proud of you. I thought you was going to be more like an technical, like, work with computers and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because you always knew wherever Aunt Gwen moved to, you always came and hooked my cable up for me.
Hey, you guys, she is not lying. She is not lying, for real. I remember one time, for real, it was one time I was working, even back at, when you was just saying, was like, Neff, come in there, hook up the box, and I, made it look like it was easy. And I'll never forget one time where I was working at the movie theaters. I came home, they done moved everything in the living room and whatnot, and they couldn't hook up the TV. And I just, and everybody thought was like, yo, man, he really good with just hooking up the VCR and plugging up the AV cords and stuff like that. So she is not lying right there. But I appreciate it. I appreciate everything. Some kind words. I just, try to do my best, keep doing it. And, I just believe in myself, like I talked about on the podcast numerous of times, just, when you find yourself and you believe in yourself and you just know, you just, when you know, and then also when you have, people like, you, my aunt, families, fiance, that is behind you, that support you, that tell you keep going, why stop? Like Big Sean say, why would I stop? So I appreciate you once again. But any other shout outs, any other things you would like to say?
Well, yeah, I'm happy that my son has returned home. You know, he had been gone away for like 10 years, you know, and I always prayed that I would be, you know, still here living, you know, to see him here among family. And it's a good feeling, you know. It's a good feeling to have all four of my children, you know, together at one time. You know, it's just a cool, good feeling. And then my grandkids, you know, everybody just growing up, doing their own thing. You know, it's just a good feeling. It's just a good feeling. Sometimes it can become emotional a little bit, you know, because in the blink of an eye, it seemed like just yesterday, everybody was, you know, even you, everybody was just, you know, just in school and whatnot, you know. Yeah. Here all are grown, and all I have to say is, you know, nothing but positive things, you know what I'm saying? Y'all doing it. Y'all making all this look like a walk in the park, you know, with no complaints. You understand? And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of you all.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. So I like I said, I thank you. I appreciate everything you do. And once again, appreciate you being here on the podcast, cuz I'm glad you're home. Can't wait to see you. I heard the big news. You know where to stop at. Once again, I'm Gwen. I appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast.
I appreciate you too, Neff. I love you.
I love you too. Yo, I'm Gwen, man. I appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast. This was an awesome show. For real. Like, my cheeks hurt from laughing, though. For real. My cheeks hurt from laughing. Man, oh man. Like, she said she was going to be nervous. I already knew it was going to be like that, man. A lot of people who especially haven't been on a podcast or just, you know, don't do it, like a lot of visuals and stuff, they real nervous, man. And like I was telling Gwen, man, once you do it week in, week out, and you just get so accustomed with it, man, it just brings so much comfortability, man, at it. And man, my wrestling podcast just be so smooth, man. I try to relax, and it's just wrestling. So meeting different people, you know, and like I said, it's just wrestling, and I'm talking about something I really, really dear, I love. So they say, you ain't nervous, man. You need to get up out of it. But man, like here each and every week, I'm also even more nervous because I try to put on a dope show. I'm here on EB Radio, so I try to deliver each and every week, man. So this one was another great show. Once again, Auntie, I appreciate the kind words and I appreciate everything. So thank you for joining me this week on the podcast. And cuz, man, I'm glad you're home. For real, you know you gotta stop past. You know what's up, man. Shout out to cuz. Y'all know what up. I hope y'all enjoyed the show this week, you guys. For real, man. Before I go, you guys, I got some shout outs I gotta give out, you guys. I'm gonna start with my Uncle Gwen. Once again, shout out to Uncle Gwen for joining me this week here on the podcast, you guys. Yo, shout out to the Get It Off Your Chest podcast. Go to YouTube, check them out. Go check out the boys from over to Get It Off Your Chest podcast. Shout out to my guy Chris from the Conversing with Chris and Niza podcast. They are doing the damn thing over there, you guys. Also, shout out to the Toys Moms podcast, you guys. She's an awesome podcast here on EB Radio, you guys, at 7 p.m. as well as you guys from Ride the Wave earlier this morning at 8:30 a.m. every Wednesday. And also, shout out to Helen from the Honestly Helen podcast, you guys, every other Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon, you guys. Also, you guys, man, I got some more shout outs. Shout out to my man Gator, who was on my wrestling podcast last Friday. It was an awesome time. Always chopping it up with you, man, on some wrestling, man. So excited. The fans are back. Cena's back, man. We have a hell of a time each and every week on Talk Pro Wrestling. You guys, shout out to my guy A. Millie from the DC area. Hot new music, man. I love the support, my guy. I appreciate it all, my guy. Appreciate it. Also, you guys, man, shout out to the Dirty Hills podcast. You already know, man. Talk Pro Wrestling each and every Friday. It's always Dirty Hills approved, man. Yo, man, when I be doing these shout outs, I always tend to forget some people, man. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my beautiful fiance. Shout out to everyone who support the 1130 podcast. You dig, man? We trucking at it, man. Over 10,000 views on YouTube. I appreciate everyone, man. If you haven't done so already, tell a friend, tell somebody, go tell your neighbor right now. For real, you watching right now this morning, go tell your neighbor, knock on the door while you watching on your phone or your tablet and say, hey, the 1130 podcast is on. They be like, what? What's the 1130 podcast? And just tell them what the 1130 podcast is. For real, man. For real. Do that, man. Tell somebody, man. And yo, man, so many shout outs, man. So many shout outs. Shout out to the Jobber-Tears podcast, man, up in the New York area. They got a big event above the rim going down July 30th, you guys. Check them out, man. Jobber-Tears podcast, man. Shout out to Off the Top Roads podcast. My man Shiz Lansky from Boston. Yo, man. Where do I go? EB Radio, y'all already know, man. Shout out to everybody on EB Radio and all the podcasters, like I said, from Ride the Wave, the Bond Chronicles, the Honest Helen podcast, the Notorious Moms podcast, and all the dope DJs, man, for real. For everybody watching on YouTube, man, get the free EB Radio app now. Yes, don't wait. Get it now. Download it. I'm pretty sure. Well, I hope you're listening to the 1130 podcast on EB Radio this Wednesday or watching on YouTube, but it's good. But download the free EB Radio app now. Yo, man, I'm about to head on out of here, you guys. For real. It's been a warm week. It's hot here in DC, man. Yo, before I go, you guys, you know what time it is, you guys. Don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast, you guys, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, you guys, at the 1130 podcast. Once again, follow the 1130 podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the 1130 podcast. Go on YouTube, man. Subscribe to the 1130 podcast. Yes, like it. Leave a comment, man. I'll shout you out on a future episode and everything. Speaking of shout out, you guys, yo, for everybody, man, like I said, if you support the 1130 podcast, tune in, you guys, this Monday to the Beautiful Feet podcast, you guys. I will be a guest on their podcast, you guys. Yes, the Beautiful Feet podcast. Shout out to my guy, Anthony Giesick, and his lovely fiance, wife, who was the co-host of the show also. So you guys tune in to the Beautiful Feet podcast, you guys. And also my guys, Chris and my guy Luke and Chris, and I almost forgot you guys' name. Luke and Chris, man, awesome. I was a guest on their podcast, you guys, the Then Wait podcast. Yo, stay tuned with them. Follow them on Instagram, the Then Wait podcast. I will be on their episode 2 in a couple of weeks, man, on their podcast in a couple of weeks. So tune in, man, for real. So shout out to everyone who had me on their podcast, who've been on a guest here on the podcast and everything, man. So yeah, it's going to be awesome, you guys. It's going to be awesome, for real. And also, you guys, the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling, each and every Friday where I interview some of your favorite independent referees, ring announcers, wrestlers, you name it, you guys. All wrestling. Every Friday, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Come join me, man. It's going to be lit. It's going to be fun and it's going to be lit. And if you would like to be a guest here on the podcast, email me. That's the1130podcast@gmail.com. Or just DM me on social media, man. You know how we get down. For real, you guys. Man, what a hell of a show. I'm about to head on out of here, man. For real. About to head on out of here, you guys. Hope everybody's enjoying the Olympics right now. That's like the only thing on right now. I'm so glad wrestling is back. The fans are back. Shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks. Phoenix didn't win in 6. They did not win in 6. I was like, they're going to win in 6. They didn't. So shout out to Giannis, man. Giannis was going crazy on Instagram Live after winning the championship. Like, man, so shout out to them, man. Congratulations. Yo, man, awesome podcast today. Awesome. Can't wait to see you guys next week here on EB Radio and YouTube. For my wrestling fans, see you guys Friday. One hell of a day, you guys. Man. Yo, stay blessed, stay safe. Keep giving all the glory to God, man. Keep giving all the glory to God. Yo, it's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Now I'm out.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. No, with me, yeah. I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one.
He the one, nigga.
So Breeze, baby.
He the one.
Who with me? So Breeze, baby. Let's get it. You with me? Yeah, they gon' hate, but they ain't stopping this. I'ma keep making hits. Dre and Wills, you know it ain't no copying. Was you sitting there on the carpet with us? Yeah, we knew we had some options. We blessed, we ain't got no problems. Speak something that I gotta be honest. Told him he